Hey everybody, and welcome back to Warhammer Weekend Times. As always, I'm your host Stan, and today I've got a 2v1 field battle for y'all. I'm going to be playing as the Lizardmen, defending this small jungle shrine against the forces of chaos, and my opponents are going to be Degrassi McFalligan, playing as the Warriors of Khorne, and then over here we have Consul of Micronesia, playing as the Children of Nurgle. Let's go ahead and go over the army comps real quick, guys, and then we will go full speed. But Consul of Micronesia has a couple units of Marauders. He's also got about 2 units of Chaos Warriors. Over here, he's got about 3 units of Nurglings, a unit of Chosen Knights of Nurgle. He's got, I think, about 1 unit of Marauder Axe Throwers in front. He's got a unit of Nurgle Chosen, 1 unit of Chaos Warriors with Halberds, and then in the back, he's got a couple units of Marauder Horsemen. Over here for Degrassi McFalligan's army, he's got about 2 units of Khorne Chosen. He's also got about 2 units of Marauder Desolators, 4 units of Marauders. In the back, he's got 2 units of Chaos Warriors, a unit of Marauder Axe Throwers, and then over here, he has about 3 units of Marauder Horsemen. Over here for my army, I've got a unit of Stegodons, which are knocking over my Skink Archers. I got about 2 units of the Skink Archers, 1 unit of Stegodons. I've got a couple units of Saurus Spears, which are charging forward to intercept Degrassi McFalligan's Marauder Horsemen. I've also got a few units of Sauruses, some Temple Guard lined up in the back against the tree line. I've also got a couple units of Croxagores. I've got 1 unit of Slawn Mage Priests, which is trying to fire into Degrassi's line. And then way in the back, I've got about 3 units of Cold One Cav. So those are going to be the armies, guys. Let's go ahead and go full speed as Degrassi is moving his horsemen up very quickly. Doesn't look like he's going to go for the charge. He's going to actually pull out his javelins and start chucking those into my Saurus Spears. I don't think I'm going to lose any in that initial volley, which is actually pretty fortunate. Usually javelins do a ton of damage, but I am going to kind of go through there unscathed. I'm going to charge my Croxagores up into his Marauders, however, throw a few of them in the air as these giant crocodile guys just start going to town against these lightly armored Chaos Marauders. I'm going to move up my other unit as well, and so long as I keep them in kind of a tight formation, they should do fairly well against those Marauders. So long as they don't get stun locked, they should be just fine. I'm going to move my Saurus Spears up here and intercept these Marauder Desolators, kind of hold them back. I'm going to get a shot off, however, with my Slawn Mage Priest, but it looks like I'm going to really overshoot and not really land anywhere with that shot there. I'm going to start moving my Stegodons into this engagement with these Chaos Warriors. They're going to kind of meander around a little bit. They're not going to quite get any of their really big hits off, unfortunately. So that is going to be disappointing there, but the Khorne Chosen are going to be charging up into the Saurus Spears, and then I'm going to be moving up my Raptor Cavalry. My Cold One Cav are going to be charging up into the flanks of these Khorne Chosen, and that is going to be really good. They don't have a shield, and I'm going to really do a bunch of damage to that unit there. Over here, I believe I'm going to try and get another shot off with my Slawn Mage Priest. Hopefully going to get some good kills with this next fire, or this next shot. Moving my Croxagores, however, up into this engagement here, and they're going to kind of move through these Marauders and into these Chaos Warriors. My Slawn Mage Priest is going to get the shot. It's going to narrowly miss the top of the building, and it's going to smash into a large group of Marauder Desolators and Khorne Chosen, taking about 20 of those Khorne Chosen out. And a lot of those Marauders, they probably already were pretty low in number from fighting against these Temple Guard. Marauders are not the strongest unit, especially against one-handed shield units that have pretty respectively high defensive stats. But I am going to have another charge over here, or it looks like I tried to charge in against these Marauder Axe Throwers with 1 Cav unit, but then I'm going to get another successful charge with my other unit of Cold One Cavalry. These Marauders are prime targets, and these Marauder Axe Throwers are really prime targets for these light Cav to charge in. They have no shield, very low defense skill. Well, I'm not quite sure what their defense skill is. I know they have low armor, so I'm really able to move in and charge. I don't think you get defense skill calculated when you have a Cav charge come in. I'm not 100% sure about that. I do know defense skill is negated whenever you have range fire come in, but I'm not 100% sure about Cav charges. It may have to do with if you're charging in from the rear, it may negate it. I do know if you charge in from the rear, they do not get their shield bonus. But Aggressive McFalcon is going to be charging in his Marauder Horsemen. By this time, they're probably out of ammo. Probably don't have any more javelins to throw, so he's going to have to use them like traditional light cavalry. However, Consul Micronesia is going to be using his chosen Knights of Nurgle here really effectively. They're going to start to charge. They are a very slow cav unit, but they are devastating when they do get engaged. They have 2 HP, so they're able to take a lot of punishment. They have a fairly high attack bonus as well, a fairly high charge bonus on top of a high attack, so they are going to be very, very formidable even in a melee engagement. I'm going to try and intercept them with my Croc Scores, however, they're going to kind of get caught on some other units. I did try to move in my Colt 1 Cavalry against those chosen Knights of Nurgle, and that was a big mistake. I lost a lot of my own cav, and then Consul is going to charge in from my rear, or into my my flank, into my Colt 1 Cavalry. And right about now is when Consul Micronesia's army is beginning to arrive at the battlefield, or his core infantry. His Chaos Warriors with halberds are going to just charge in. And I've noticed this is something that kind of happens, is the ones that actually have a target are the only ones that charge in. So sometimes you'll kind of leave half of your unit behind as the other half charges forward. You kind of see it here with the Nurgle Chosen. And really when that happens, you want to kind of just micro that unit and push the rest of them up. Coming in hot are my Cold One Cav. They're going to charge kind of into the front of these Chaos Warriors and these Nurglings. They're not going to get a ton of kills, as those Chaos Warriors have a very high armor rating, but I think I'm going to fell a few of them. We take a look over here on kind of this other side of the shrine, I guess. The Khorne Chosen are fighting against the Temple Guard. Looks like the Temple Guard probably going to pull ahead in this engagement. I believe they are a little bit closer together, and having shields, they've got a pretty good defense. Consul Micronesia's chosen Knights of Nurgle are back here swinging at these Skink Archers, and then over here it looks like Aggressive McFalcon has got his cavalry, his Marauder Horsemen, engaged against my Salon Mage Priest. This is not good. I really need to take advantage of my Salon Mage Priest, as I am outnumbered, and I am trying to hold this little hill here. I don't have a lot of ranged advantage. I do have my Skink Archers and my Salon Mage Priest, but really I've noticed with the Salon Mage Priest, whenever you get to the point, and this is actually a really good charge coming in from Consul Micronesia, but whenever you get into kind of engagement, a melee engagement like this, the AoE is so large on the Salon Mage Priest, it'll not fire because it'll detect that you'll actually hit your own units. So it's probably best used if kind of, you know, firing at units behind the enemy's lines, or behind the main line of engagement. But it's a little difficult to get making it, you know, do what you want. It's kind of an independent unit in terms of what it will and won't fire at. Sometimes just leaving it on fire will is the best choice. But Consul Micronesia has his Nurglings kind of thrown in here. Now, while Nurglings aren't the most threatening unit, they sure can wear your unit down, or your units down. They'll tire them out. They sometimes take a long time to kill. They do have multiple HP, so they can be a definite thorn in your side, especially if you're trying to keep them away from your artillery unit, which they're not very far from my Salon Mage Priest. So I'm going to really need to be careful there. Back over here, it looks like my Temple Guard have begun to really thin out these Khorne Chosen. There are a few left, but I am going to kind of charge them over here and move in against these chosen Knights of Nurgle, which really are at this point in the game very threatening. They have a lot in the unit. They probably are still pretty high on HP. I've not had a lot of prolonged melee engagements with them this game. My Croc Scores are holding very well over here, and I'm going to cycle charge them over into this kind of big blob. Going to get a nice rear charge against these Chaos Warriors with halberds. Going to kill quite a few in that charge. And so long as I keep this tight formation, my Croc Scores should be okay. However, you never want to send them in like this, unsupported. I do have a few sources over here, and I think I am trying to move around my Temple Guard. However, only 47 left in this unit, and they are tired. You can see their charge is not very fast at this point, being tired, so they've taken quite a speed penalty. I'm going to get shot off with my Salon Mage Priest into one of Aggressive McFalcon's Marauder Horseman units. He's got two over here. I think his micro is elsewhere, but I'm going to completely wipe out that unit, and that's going to give me a little bit of an advantage in terms of in terms of kind of you know, freedom of movement now that he doesn't have. I mean, it was not a very healthy unit, but still, just a few cavalry can make a big difference. Right now, the balance of power is a little in my favor. 77% of my units are killed compared to their 73 units. So actually, it's kind of shifting to the middle. I'm going to get a good charge, however, with my Cold One cavalry into these Nurglings. Hopefully going to free up my Kroxigors. Really, I should just leave this engagement alone with my Kroxigors and send them in elsewhere. The Kroxigors are going to be faster than whatever is left over there, and it's very possible that they may get stun-locked and killed by those Nurglings. Cold One cavalry are going to come, however, down here and do a lot of damage to these Marauder Axors, really thinning this unit out. They are going to be wavering, then kind of reestablish it shaken. Looks like I am going to kill these Marauder Horsemen as well. Again, I think I got another shot. You can see the puff of smoke over here from my Slann Mage Priest. Looks like I'm still trying to get another shot off. I've gotten a couple shots off with him this game, but not many. I think that was the third shot that actually made contact, so he's not seen as much action as I would have hoped for him to. He is a 10,000 gold unit, so those are, you know, you have to kill a lot to get 10,000 gold back, or at least kill some high-priority targets. So far, I've killed a few Marauders, some Khorne Chosen, and a couple of Marauder Horsemen, so he's really not got his money's returned, but, you know, sometimes it's really interesting. Sometimes you don't necessarily even need to get the payout that your unit's worth. Sometimes you just need him to support units that otherwise wouldn't get their money's worth. So sometimes, you know, you'll see a low-tier unit maybe get a lot of kills in some games, and it might be because they were supported by a higher-tier unit that may not have gotten quite so many kills. But, I mean, that kind of goes all into balance theory and stuff like that. But I am going to try and move my Slann Mage Priest into a position to maybe shoot at these chosen Knights of Nurgle, but Consul Micronesia is not going to let that happen. He's going to charge them in. They're going to get, as slow as charge of it is, he's going to get a really nice charge into my Slann Mage Priest crew unit. Yeah, I'm going to lose a few there, and I only need 3 to fire, but I don't want to get these guys mixed up in melee for too long. I really need to keep as many as I can, because if you get to the point where you only have 3, you're really just hanging on just barely to that artillery unit. If you lose one guy, just you know, rogue archer fire, even friendly fire archer fire, that's it. That artillery unit is completely useless. So you really want to maintain as healthy of a crew for any kind of artillery as you can. I'm going to try and ward these chosen Knights of Nurgle off with my Kroxigors. Countercharges for Kroxigors typically are a mixed bag. Sometimes it's really good with as few Kroxigors as I have in this unit. It would not really pay out very much, but I can hopefully slow down these chosen Knights of Nurgle so that I can get another charge into my Slann Mage Priest. If I lose him now, it is going to really probably be game in terms of my ability to destroy these chosen Knights of Nurgle. I don't have any answer really this late in the game. Maybe I should have targeted them early on with my Slann Mage Priest. They are very slow, but Consul Micronesia has kept a lot of micro on them. He's kept them very mobile, and he's gotten a lot of kills with them thus far. So my Temple Guard and Kroxigor are engaged over here against these chosen Nurgle Chosen and these Chaos Warriors with halberds. These are some pretty elite units to have to be fighting against. I do think I've got a few of these sources left, but it looks like Consul Micronesia is getting to a very threatening position again with his chosen Knights of Nurgle. These have kind of been the star unit for Chaos, and they are going to start charging in, and he's going to get a really just devastating rear charge in. Here they come! The Sauruses are going to just get swamped. I'm going to lose a lot of Kroxigors, pretty much most of these ones kind of in between these here and my main engagement, and I'm going to lose a lot of units there, and that's going to really kind of cripple me for this engagement. Consul Micronesia already kind of had the advantage here with halberds having such a fast attack animation and these multiple HP Nurgle Chosen kind of acting as tanks. It's gonna be really hard for me to recover from that. I'm gonna try and chase his cavalry off. They are exhausted, so that's about as slow as they're gonna end up being. I think maybe I picked one off just there with my Skink Archers. They did not get a lot of play this game, but Skink Archers aren't, you know, they're a pretty low tier unit. Chosen Knights of Nurgle looks like they're gonna, I'm not quite sure what they're gonna do, but I'm gonna try and charge my Temple Guard into them. Into their flanks. Hopefully I'm going to get some good kills here. I need to thin this unit out. He still has 35. They're very, very healthy at this point. Looks like Consul also has some Nurglings, which are harassing my Slann Mage Priest. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, guys. These Nurglings you really don't want to underestimate or let them stay alive long enough to be a thorn in your side, because right now, you know, you cannot fire so long as your artillery crew is engaged in melee. So I'm gonna have to finish off these really annoying Nurglings before I'm able to actually free up my my Salon Mage Priest. Over here, I am going to try and form kind of a pincer formation with my Temple Guard. Looks like a lot of my Temple Guard over here have thinned out. I only have got about 11 left. My Kroxigors, I only got about 4 left over here, so very few units on this side. The Chosen Knights of Nurgle are chasing my Salon Mage Priest. It looks like I've got a few Kroxigors over here. Really not sure what I'm doing with them over here. I need to get them over here in this engagement. I do have them kind of spread out over here, and I think what I'm going to try and do is move my Kroxigors over, or they can try and get a kind of flanking charge at the same time. I'm going to move my Cold One Cavalry in. I have very few in both of these units, so it's going to be like my last Hail Mary pretty much, unless I can get my Salon Mage Priest going. But I'm going to charge in with both my Cold One Cav and my Kroxigors as pretty much at the same time, or as you know, simultaneously as I can. The Nurgle Chosen are going to be shaken. The Chaos Warriors with Halberds, however, are not going to be. That may have to do with how many are left in the unit. But I pretty much failed to do what I was trying to do here, and Consul Micronesia is going to really punish this flank over here. Do a bunch of damage to this Temple Guard. I'm going to try to charge in again with my Cold One Cavalry. These Chaos Warriors with Halberds, unless they're bracing or facing me, they're going to take quite a bit of damage from these cavalry charges. But again, being Halberd units, they're going to be able to lash out against my cavalry and do a ton of damage, especially to light cavalry. And you guys can see here, my forces are beginning to just melt away. I don't really have much. These Temple Guard are very few in number, and I've only got one Kroxigor over here, so pretty much this flank here has been demolished. I believe, I'm not sure where Consul's Chosen Knights of Nurgle are. No doubt, probably in the tree line. Yeah, here they are, over on the other side of the temple, moving around. Looks like he's just gonna finish off whatever skinks I have left. I think I've got a few more over here. 35 skink archers here. They're gonna pretty much be inconsequential this late in the game. I think they've only got about 4 on their missile damage, and they come in a very large unit, but having only about 35, they've lost their advantage in numbers. So I'm not going to really get a lot of love with them this game, or in the remainder of this game. But I'm trying to get my Salon Mage Priest into a position to fire. If I can get a good shot onto these Chosen Knights of Nurgle, I might be able to turn this around, but that last Cav charge right there is kind of going to seal my fate. I'm going to lose all of my Temple Guard, and all I'm really going to have left are some of these Chosen Knights of Nurgle. There's still a tiny chance, if I can get a shot off into this big blob, that might sway the way of the game. But as it looks right now, the balance power is slipping out of my favor. 95% to 95% killed. They did have a bigger army, so that 95% is going to leave them with a few more. I'm going to try and charge my Kroxigors in, but with so few in number, their counter charge is just going to massacre that unit. Or, you know, they only have 3 in there, so it's going to take out 2/3 of the dudes. But I got one Kroxigor still alive, fighting against these Chosen Knights of Nurgle, which are still pretty healthy this late in the game at 28. I've got some Kroxigors over here desperately fighting against these Chaos Warriors with Halberds, but they're going to get stun-locked with all these Halberds targeting them. I think I might actually be reallocating these guys to try and fight against these Chosen Knights of Nurgle, but it's looking pretty grim for me. Consul does have some Nurglings over here harassing my cannon crew, or my Salon Mage Priest, whenever you mouse over it says Hell Cannon, so get that kind of mixed up sometimes. But my skink archers are trying to melee as well as they can with their little knives, and I have one unit of Cold One infantry, or Cold One cavalry, coming in, hopefully going to do a little bit of damage to this Nurgling here and free up my Salon Mage Priest just as my Kroxigors are going to start falling. Got one Kroxigor left. Looks like that guy's going to stab a dude on the ground with his hammer. You got to be pretty badass to stab somebody with a hammer. But he is going to be, I guess it's a mace. I really don't know the technical term for that weapon. But he's actually going to be holding his own pretty well against some of these Nurgle Chosen. He is not going to hold against these guys, though. He's going to get killed. He just does not have the damage or numbers to stand up to, like, nearly 40 dudes. And they are going to go down there. I'm going to get my Salon Mage Priest, however, just about freed as soon as I kill this last Nurgling. And I believe he is going to go down there, and that is going to free up my Salon Mage Priest. And this is going to be it, guys. This is going to be the moment of truth as to whether or not they survive. Whether or not the Lizardmen will survive. Even if I manage to kill these infantry units here, I do have these Chosen Knights of Nurgle to still have to deal with. I really don't think there's any way for me to pull this one out, even if I manage to get a shot onto these guys. I am going to charge in my Cold One Cavalry, which is going to get swatted pretty quick by these Chosen Knights of Nurgle. He's going to die valiantly. And then the Chaos Warriors with Halberds are going to close the range fast enough where my Salon Mage Priest is not going to be able to fire. And they're going to surround them, and that is going to be pretty much the game, guys. Chosen Knights of Nurgle charging in to the flanks of my Salon Mage Priest, and they are going to finish me off. So it was a very close game. I did have a 5,000 gold cash advantage comparatively to the other team. So they were playing about, I think about 20,000 per team, and I was playing about 45k for the Lizardmen. It definitely had a lot of line of sight issues with my Hell Cannon. I'm sorry, guys, with my Salon Mage Priest. Although I don't know if that's necessarily line of sight or the fact that he refuses to friendly fire into his own troops. But I did get about 2,000 kills. That's quite a few. They had about 2,200 soldiers. I had about 1,400. So I was outnumbered, but I was playing in a defensive position, which usually is better to play defensively if you're outnumbered. But we take a look at the kill count. I got 226 kills with this Croc Score unit, 156 with this other one, 377 with my Cold One Cavalry. That is a ton for a light cav unit. Now, probably a lot of my hits, or a lot of my kills here, were Marauders or Nurglings or very lightly armored units that probably didn't have a shield, or I flanked them so they didn't get their shield bonus. So you can, even with kind of like lesser cavalry or lesser units, you can still get high kill volumes if you use them properly. Temple Guard getting 100 kills here. Sources 121. That's still pretty good. Salon Mage Priest getting 115. Not that great considering how expensive it is. However, that was only from 3 shots. If I had been able to fire a little more consistently with it, I think it probably would have gotten a lot more kills. And then my last Croc Score unit getting 285 is very good as well. So guys, that is the game. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I have a lot more games coming soon. I've been playing a lot more, so got a lot more replays to go over. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I've got a lot of stuff coming very soon, and if y'all want to join the Discord, which is in the description below, hop on in if you're interested in playing some Call of Warhammer with us. You know, if you're looking for some games, I know some people have trouble finding games online, but we're just having a blast all the time. So but anyway, guys, I'll see y'all next time, and I hope y'all have a great day.